Dear learners, welcome to the series of videos on which I have been discussing tenses. This video is going to be on the second tense, which is the present continuous tense. Well, without wasting a single second, let's get into it. Dear learners, let's start discussing what present continuous tense is all about. But before I make a start, I would like you to watch my previous video where I discussed present indefinite tense. You can go to the description box. I have left the link in. Well, now let's understand what present continuous tense refers to. Present continuous tense refers to an action going on at present. Okay, before I discuss it in detail, I would just like to tell you a piece of information. Suppose somebody asks you what present continuous tense is, or somebody asks you what present indefinite tense is. You would answer does. I'll tell you. You should say present continuous tense refers to an action ... or you should say present indefinite tense refers to an action ... This is how you should begin your definition. So we have learned one thing out of the definitions I have just told you. Each and every tense refers to an action, and this particular tense refers to an action which is going on at present. That means the action is continuing right at this moment. Let's have a look at the trick I have made for you. An action going on right now. If you remember this trick, I think that will suffice. You don't need to go through the definition or remember it. That's quite easy. Now we will move on to the form, and as I always tell you that this form is of paramount importance while we are learning any tense. Well, at first the subject should be there, definitely in the case of assertive sentences, and after that am or is or are must be used. Okay, that means out of these three auxiliary verbs, one must be there to form a sentence in this particular tense. And after that, the first form of the verb with ing must be there. And after that, there might be other words as well. Well, let's have a look at the examples written over here. Well, the first one goes, I am reading a book. Or we can say, he is reading a book. Or we can say, they are reading a book. Dear learners, have you noticed anything? Yes, you have guessed it right. I am changing the auxiliary verb according to the subject, and this is what happens. We are going to learn it a little later. Let's move on to the next example, which goes, he is playing cricket. And remember that in this particular tense, the action of playing cricket, here in this respect of this particular example, we can say that the action of playing cricket is going on right now. If we look at the first example, the same thing is there. That means the action of reading is going on right at this moment, and that is what happens in all the cases or in all the sentences we can possibly make out of this tense. Well, let's have a look at the third and final example I have written. Well, we are going to market, and here the action of going to market is going on right now. Now we are going to learn where am or is or are should be used. I'm going to tell you a trick that even a child in arms can understand and remember it. No, I'm not kidding at all. I'm quite serious. After the trick is told, there'll be no confusion or doubt as to where am or is or are should be used. In case of singular number, that means if the subject is singular, we are supposed to use is, and if the subject is plural, we are supposed to use are. Okay? In case of singular number, is used. In case of plural number, are is used. Now the trick. Look at the word is. The word is comprises two letters, whereas the word are consists of three letters. So we can easily conclude, just like a child does, is smaller than are, or are is bigger than is, that is what we can say otherwise. Well, singular number is smaller because it refers to one person or thing, and that is why is should be used. That means a small auxiliary verb should be used. In case of plural number, as it refers to more than one thing or one person, a bigger verb, that is are, should be used. You can type in the comment section whether this little trick has helped you or not. Now we have two exceptions to the rule I have just discussed. I am, you are. Though I is singular, we are supposed to use am, not is. Okay? Or in case of you, be it singular or be it plural, it doesn't matter, we are supposed to use are. Okay? Now we are going to look at the sentences I have written for you just to learn some constructions of English sentences. He is reading a book. That's an affirmative sentence. It is an example of that. And if we want to make this affirmative sentence, or if you want to turn this affirmative sentence into a negative one, we are supposed to use not just after the auxiliary verb. Remember, it doesn't matter whether it is am or is or are. We are supposed to use not after the auxiliary verb, and that will make your sentence a negative one. Okay, let's read. He is not reading a book, or we can say he isn't reading a book. Now this word isn't is the contracted form of is not. Well, now we are going to look at the next sentence written over here. Is he reading a book? That is a yes no question. A yes no question is a question that could be answered either with yes or with no. Now look at the form. I have just put the auxiliary verb before the subject, and that is what you need to say or you need to write. Okay, just put the auxiliary verb, whether it is am or is or are, before the subject, and that makes a yes no question. Okay, now we're going to move on to the last but not the least sentence I have written for you, and that is an example of a WH question. A WH question is a question that starts with a WH word. I'll discuss it later in some other video. What is he reading? Now what I have done, the same thing is there. Is he reading? Is he reading? The same thing is there. I have just put the WH word before the beginning of the question. Okay, and I have dropped this part, a book, because a book is the answer to this question. Because to answer a WH question, we need to have a new word or some new words which are not there in the question. Well, this part is the answer to this question, and that's why I have dropped this part, and this is how you have to form thousands of sentences. Okay, thanks for watching.